We were discussing about the parasitic adaptation in helminths. Now, as I've already told you that helminths, they inhabit the liver or intestine or lymph nodes. That is, they live inside the host. Now, in order to be able to live successfully in liver or in intestine, they have adjusted themselves to the environment. For example, if a helminth is inhabiting intestine, it has to escape the peristaltic movement of the intestine. Otherwise, it will be thrown out of the alimentary canal. Now, the adaptation falls into three broad categories, and these categories are: number one, degeneration of unwanted organ; number two, development of new and specific structure; number three, the physiological adaptation. Now, we will be discussing these adaptation one by one. Now, the first type, the first category of adaptation is the degeneration of unwanted organ. As we know that the helminths are living inside their host, they do not require certain life process, certain biological processes. For example, they do not require a well-developed locomotory organ, and for that, the locomotory organ, they are absent in endoparasites. They are present in ectoparasites or in the larval form of the parasites. Now, why they are present in larval forms? Because these locomotory organ, for example, the tail in Cercaria larva helps in finding the larva, and it enables the larva to enter into its host. Without the presence of a tail, Cercaria larva will not be able to find its host, new host. Similarly, the muscular system is not required because the parasite is living inside the host, and since it does not have the locomotory function, it does not require the movement from one place to another. So, the muscular system is absent. It is very poorly developed. The muscles are present only at the body wall of the animal. Now, why the muscle are present in the body wall? Because the contraction of the body wall is aided with the help of the muscles, and this muscle is very poorly or weakly developed. The sense organ and the nervous system is also absent. Why the systems are absent? Because the animal is living inside the host. It does not require the sense of taste, smell, or the awareness of its environment. It is inside the host, and all this is taken care of by the host itself. Similarly, the nervous system is also poorly developed because it does not require highly complex evolved functions or the control of the system by the nervous system. The alimentary canal is also absent or very poorly developed. We know that in liver fluke, incomplete alimentary canal is present, while in many of the helminths, the alimentary canal is absent, and the helminth absorbs the nutrition from its body surface by the of the host. It does not require an alimentary canal for digestion, for conversion or breaking down into simpler particle, simpler product. Why? Because it is taking the absorbed, already the digested food from the host. It simply needs to absorb the digested food. Therefore, the surface, the body surface is modified into absorbing the food. It does not require the system to be present. Now, the development of new and specific structure. Since many of the organs are absent, like the organ for locomotion, the muscles, the sense organ, the nervous system, the alimentary canal, since all these organs are absent, and the animal, the organism, or the helminth has to live inside the host, it requires the development of certain structures. Now, what are these structures? The protective covering. Since the helminth, as I've already mentioned, is living inside the host, it requires certain protective measures against the digestive juice of the host. Now, this protective covering is the cuticle. Like an insect, this cuticle is also shed from time to time. The larva as well as the adult, they possess sheath-like tegument. Now, they have organs of adhesion. The organ of adhesion helps the organism to adhere into the host. Now, what are these organs for adhesion? In tapeworm, we find that the scolex has got 4 suckers, and at the rostillum, there are 2 rows of hooks. It is with the help of these suckers and hooks, the animal, the tapeworm, adheres into the host, and it is not slipped or removed out of the body by the peristaltic movement of the host. Similarly, the liver fluke possesses 2 sucker, one the oral sucker and the other sucker is known as the acetabulum. Besides these additional specific structures, the animal, the parasite has developed a very well formed reproductive system. The animal, the parasite is hermaphrodite, that is both male and female sex organs are present in the parasite, so that the parasite does not have to move out or exit from the host in order to search for its partner so as to produce, so as to fertilize and produce next progeny. So, the reproductive system is well developed. They are hermaphrodite, that is the presence of male and female sex organ in the same animal, as well as the reproductive system practically fills the whole body of the parasite. Adaptation shown by helminths in order to sustain themselves inside the host. The next type of adaptation is called the physiological adaptation. Now, by physiological adaptation, we mean the physiology, that is the karyaki, the function of the parasite is such that it is able to sustain itself inside the host. Now, what are these physiological adaptation? We all know that the parasite has to protect itself from the digestive enzymes of the host. Now, how does it protect itself from the digestive juices of the host? It produces anti-enzymes which nullifies the digestive juices of the host such that the parasite is able to live inside the host without itself getting digested. It produces or secretes mucus around itself. Again, it is a protective measure, a physiological adaptation by which it is able to escape itself from the digestive juices of the host. In order to move inside the host, it has got penetrating glands, and it is with these penetrating glands the parasite is able to bore itself inside the host by secreting the lytic enzymes. Now, these lytic enzymes enable the parasite to move inside the host by penetrating into the tissue. This lytic enzyme is also known as the histolytic enzyme of the parasite. The other physiological adaptation by the helminth is the anaerobic respiration. It is able to respire anaerobically. As we all know that in presence of abundance of oxygen, the animal, they use oxygen and they convert it into the carbon dioxide and water. But since the parasite is living inside the host, there is dearth of oxygen inside the body. Therefore, if an alternate method of respiration is not adopted by the parasite, it will not be able to live inside the host. So, it has adapted to anaerobic respiration, that is respiring in absence of oxygen. The other physiological adaptation adopted by the parasite is the effective reproductive strategy. We all know that the parasite live inside the host, and practically whole of its life is spent inside the host. Now, if the progeny also survives into the host, then there is a good enough chance that the host will not be able to inhabit so many parasites in itself, and it will die or wither off eventually. So in order to escape, the parasite has adopted certain strategies. Number one strategy is to ensure that large number of its progeny is ejected out of the body. So it produces large number of eggs. That is, if we see Ascaris, it produces about 2 lakh eggs a day. In another parasite, Encyclostoma duodenalis, the parasite produces about 20,000 eggs per day. Large number of egg production ensures that at least some of the egg survives and finds a new host. Since they cannot inhabit the same host, they have to be ejected out of the system so that the larvae or the next progeny finds new host so as to continue their type. Second important strategy is the secretion of protective covering around its egg. So we know that the eggs are encysted. When the eggs eject out of the body, they have a hard protective covering, that is the cyst, which enables the egg to survive the harsh environmental condition, which is not inside the host but outside the host, into maybe soil, into water, maybe on leaf, etc. The next important strategy adopted by the parasite is that the development of the egg starts in the host itself, the first host itself, so that when the egg is ejected out, it quickly acquires an infective stage, so that now the infective larva can infect its secondary host. The larvae are movable. If they are not provided with any movable organ or structure, they will not be able to find their new host. So we know that in Cercaria larva, there is a tail present. It is with the help of this tail the larva moves and finds its host. In parasite, a very typical phenomena is observed, and this phenomena is known as polyembryony. Now, what is polyembryony? Poly means many, embryony means production of embryo. Now, what happens in certain parasitic worms is that one of their larval stage, that is the sporocyst stage, it is one of the stage of fasciola hepatica, that is the liver fluke. In sporocyst, there are 5 to 2000 radia produced or metacercaria produced, and it is these radia and metacercaria that they again are able to produce radia and metacercaria. Now, the thing to be noted is that sporocyst is a larval stage. It harbors radia in itself, and this radia is again capable of producing about 2000 more radia or metacercaria larva. Now, how this is accomplished? The germ layer of the larva is able to produce the next progeny, that is the radia. It is in the sporocyst itself. This is the sporocyst. It has got so many secondary larva, radia in itself, and this radia is again capable of producing many radia. So this type of phenomena is known as polyembryony. Besides this, behavioral adaptation is also found in these parasites, and one of the very important behavioral parasite is that it is observed in Vauchereria bancrofti. And what is the adaptation? The larva of Vauchereria bancrofti, that is, which produces elephantiasis, a disease. The larva of Vauchereria bancrofti, it comes out into the system, into the visceral blood vessel, and at night. And at night, the mosquito, when bites the host, these larvae from the veins, they are transferred into the secondary host, which is the Culex mosquito. And when this mosquito bites a new host, the larvae are transferred into the next host. So this is how they are able to expand themselves, expand their progeny, expand their life. Now that is all in this topic. Hope you all have understood, and thank you for watching. Please like and share the video.